Now look at this. You don't see this every day. I'm guessing the guy
Turn
started.
right onto Paramount Boulevard Northwest.
I'm guessing the guy started passing the other bus and he slid on ice. Oh man. People like crazy. But yeah, that road is blocked. Yeah, I'm looking back and I see the rear of the bus slid into the other bus. Yeah.
Continue on Paramount Boulevard Northwest for 1.5 kilometers.
Yeah, this can be treacherous weather because it last few days it was very cold, you know, -18, -20, but now it warmed up considerably, so now we only have -12, and I just did some stupid delivery, so just trying to get back to civilization. By the way, I had an interesting conversation with a gentleman from Toronto who found me somehow, I don't know, either on Instagram or YouTube. I think he said he watched my videos, but he's you know, a young guy, so he's driving, he's trying to survive in Toronto, just doing taxi with Uber and Lyft. And right away I was interested because, you know, I'm always looking. See that? You have sign, stop. You see that? And she's shouting at me. Can you believe this? She ran the stop sign and acted like I scared her. Like, you gotta stop, lady. And she has a kid in the passenger seat. Unbelievable. Anyway, so this guy is trying to survive as a Uber and Lyft driver, and he says over there the rent, he has a 2-bedroom apartment, so in Toronto, basement, he's paying $2,100, and he has a kid, he has a wife, and so he's working like a dog with this Lyft and Uber. He says he has to work 12 hours a day, and he covers about 250 kilometers. Now imagine, with this stuff I try not.
300 meters, turn left onto Harvest.
With this stuff I try not to go over 100 kilometers a day because I already have 18,356 kilometers on my Jeep, which is less than a year old. And so yeah, this guy does 250 kilometers a day, and he says he makes just, you know, I make $700 to $800 a week before gas and taxes. He makes about $1,200 to $1,300, and that crazy lady's on the right, but looks like she calmed down. And so basically, if you think about it, so he does 250 kilometers a day, right? So probably 6 days a week, I don't know, but so he's making like $1 per kilometer. That's it, and that's gross. That's before he deducts money for gas, tires, maintenance. So basically, it's not worth it. And so but why he called me is because he saw that I was in that I'm a former and currently hopefully will be trucker. And man, this spot is always scary, you know, this wall on the right, always scary. But anyway, and so he wants to move to Calgary, and over there in Toronto he's taking a course for his AZ or Class 1 license. And his question to me was, how difficult will it be for him to find a job as a city driver? Because again, he has a family, right? So, and that's often what new drivers ask, because nobody wants to be on the road. And I explained to him that the chances of him with zero experience finding work locally are very slim, because usually this is where the experienced guys that did their gave their dues and spent like me, like 15-20 years doing long haul, and then you have experience. So local employers they prefer experienced people, because over here you drive in traffic, right? It can be more complicated, more stressful than when you are doing long haul. You're driving somewhere in Oklahoma, Texas, or Wyoming, there's hardly any traffic, and so they prefer to hire, at least from what I remember in Ontario. It was because when I was looking for a job, right, it was pretty much impossible without experience. And so I told this guy, I said, when you come over, I said, don't even try applying from Toronto, because nobody will pay attention. You have to be here, or at least have a rental already lined up, or because he cannot buy anything. And so I said, when you're here, then you can start applying. And I just suggested that he takes the first job he can get, like first job. It's not going to be a good job, it's the pay going to be low, but he needs to get experience, right? And doing this like this, going to school first and then looking for a job, is not what I would recommend actually. But it's too late, because he's already set on starting his school. But the way I did it, and the way I recommend it to all new people, is you have to find a company first that will hire you with no experience. And that's what I did, right? I found this back over there in Ontario. Challenger Motor Freight was hiring with no experience, because I found the ad in what was it called? I forgot. It's like a magazine. It's all advertising for jobs in trucking specifically, and they have a website. So that's where I saw that, and I talked to them. And the most important question to ask your potential employer is, do they have any preference as far as trucking schools go? Because not all trucking schools are the same. So that company can tell you, hey, we don't care. Or option B, they'll say, well, as long as you don't go to Papa John Pizza trucking school, but they can give you a list of which schools they consider good and which schools they consider bad. But in my case, I got lucky. Challenger said, we don't care as long as you get your AZ or Class 1 license, because we will retrain you. We'll put you on the road, first in the classroom, then with the instructor, 1 week local, 1 week over the road, and then we'll give you your own truck. And that's it. So that gave me confidence. So I went and I started training with basically cheapest schools possible. It took me 2 attempts. I failed twice, and then 3 times is the charm, right, as they say. And third time I passed the road test, and I never had any issues with computer exam, but the road test was you know, difficult for a new guy. I never drove a semi truck before, and so that would be like ideal. So first you find the company, and then you go to the school that they recognize, and then you go work with them, you know. But because I remember reading about one guy who spent like, I don't know, $5,000. Now of course it's much more. It cost $10,000, but he spent a bunch of money on getting his license in Montreal, Quebec. And then he was complaining on social media that nobody wants to hire him. And that's exactly my point. You know, first you have to find a job, and then you have to train. So that's the message for today from Captain Sergei, or Private Sergei. Since now I operate a Jeep Compass Trailhawk Elite, but 4x4. And surprisingly, this is my first 4x4 vehicle, boys and girls. So yeah, today is a very slow day. I might go home early because it's 5 o'clock. I made like, I don't know, 30 bucks. But anyway, so all kinds of people are getting into trucking for different reasons. And it's always interesting to talk to people, you know, get some feedback from the trenches, so to speak. But hopefully one of these days I'll be back in the trucking industry myself, because I had my break. Now I want to go back. I feel excited. I just need to get that paperwork from Ontario that confirms that I did have Class AZ in Ontario. And then I gotta do a medical, still haven't done it, and then go to the registry or DMV office and get my Class 1 license. And then I'm gonna start looking for a job. And I mentioned this, and somebody mentioned in comments that Class 1 here in Alberta is super universal. You can drive a bus, not just a small bus, but a big bus. You can drive a limo, you can drive a taxi, you can drive an ambulance. So Class 1 beats all other classes. Or you can drive like a concrete truck, which is Class 3. So the only thing you cannot do with Class 1 is a motorcycle. And that's no big loss for me. I never rode on a motorcycle. I never had a motorcycle, so I consider them extremely dangerous. So yeah, so Class 1 is the king in Alberta, so you can do whatever you want. And I'll be applying, you know, whoever hires me, I don't care. I'll drive a bus, I'll drive a truck. All I care about is that the pay should be at least 28 bucks an hour, and the hours should not be too long. I don't want to work 12 hours. Tried that at that solar farm. Thank you, but no thank you. But I don't care. I just need to make roughly, let's say, I don't know, 200 a day. And that would be awesome. That would solve all my cash flow problems. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a good day, boys and girls. Ciao.